The price of freedom is death. We're coming to get our check.
B1 brothers and sisters, welcome back to the Afro Elite YouTube channel. If you're new to this channel, please make sure you subscribe as you're coming in. If you've already subscribed, please make sure you hit that notification bell. Also, too, please make sure you leave a like. That really helps the channel out. It helps to spread the channel and help it grow. So I would appreciate a like and share this on your social media platforms. You have Torah, B1 to you family. Our brother Tariq, B1 to you. Okay, so as you guys are coming in, I would appreciate it if you guys like the video and let other people know that we're live, because that really helps the channel when a lot of people are watching live. It also helps when people watch on the back end, but I kind of like the interaction when people are watching live. Okay, so to start off, I wanted to start off on kind of like a little lighter note. Excuse me, hold on, let me get to my phone, click something, because I just want to make sure the sound is the way it's supposed to. Okay, so what's up, brother? What's up, brother Afro Elite? Yeah, what's up, Ray Sean? How you doing, brother? Now, I don't know if you guys are comic book heads. I tend to be. I've always been a comic book head. I've always like cartoons and movies and stuff like that. I grew up with that. Okay. So admittedly, I'm a nerd. I like Black Panther. I like comic books and all that stuff. You said, Tora says, Twitter Spaces. You are, yep. Thank you very much. We have our brother Torian Rain in here, and he has if you notice, he has the Black Panther thing, and that's interesting because we're going to talk about that. Okay. People have been asking me like my opinion on the trailer of Black Panther. If you guys, I don't know if you're comic book heads, but if you are, then you probably be entertained by this. So we all know that the actor who played T'Challa, which is the Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman, he passed away in 2020, and the Marvel Studios decided not to recast Chadwick Boseman. They decided to leave the actual character of Black Panther dead in the movie. So I'm assuming he did shoot a couple scenes. I'm assuming he's gonna like die off sometime early in the movie based off of the trailer. And I'm saying this for a reason. So as I'm watching the trailer, so black men, this is kind of like an L for black men, because Black Panther is a strong, powerful, talented black man, and he means a lot in the comic book. So why not recast him, as respect? Which I agree. I was always really of the opinion that Black Panther should have been recast. That's just always been my opinion, that he should be. I feel like I understand why they decided not to like just recast him. If you guys know like how they did with what's his name? War Machine, where it was Terrence Howard who played the first Iron Man, and then Don Cheadle who played the second Iron Man. So I decided, so that was okay for them not to do that. Like, it would have been a little disrespectful if they just put a whole new actor and acted as if everything was the same. I do feel like with the Marvel, like approaching the multiverse thing, that they could just like pull another Black Panther from the multiverse, and it might be somebody completely different, and say, well, this is technically T'Challa, but this is T'Challa from another universe where Wakanda is destroyed. So now, he's in this Wakanda, and he can be the king of this Wakanda, and you can still have him just as like trained and thorough and everything like that. So that's just my opinion on the way they can kind of respectfully recast somebody as Black Panther. But I'm looking through the comments, and I saw something, and shout out to our brother AJ Nash on Twitter. He made a post, and he was talking about, it's still a possibility. And a lot of people are saying Killmonger can come back. He's saying, a lot of people are saying that. I'm like, Killmonger if he comes back, it would be weird for him to be the Black Panther just because he came back. It would kind of be weird unless you got like a different version of Killmonger, maybe. You might still have Michael B. Jordan do it. Maybe it's Michael B. Jordan from another universe or whatnot. But people saying Killmonger's not dead, and he very well might not be dead. I mean, Loki's died like 3 times, and he keeps coming back, so it could be that. But the reason I bring up the trailer is for an important reason. Okay, because there's a character named Namor in the movie, and Namor, if you know about Black Panther, Namor and the Black Panther have always had like a rivalry with like Atlantis and Wakanda, and they have a Hispanic man playing Namor. Let me see. If possible, boycott Birth of the Nation. If people says boycott Birth of the Nation, I don't want to hear anyone say anything about this movie. Yeah. If people boycotted Birth of the Nation with Nate Parker, I don't want. Yeah, exactly. I would agree. Now, Namor is like an Atlantean. I don't know that much about Namor like that, but he's supposed to be he is in the movie. He's in the trailers, right? And he's being played by Hispanic. So it was I guess it was like a Comic-Con convention or whatever, and the actor who plays Namor, he got up on stage and he was speaking Spanish to the audience, talking about we made it and all this and that. And what I find very interesting is if you guys can see this real quick. Ignore the ads, please. But the reaction, because these are some of the tweets. And then it's this person, as a dark-skinned Mexican or as a Mexican actor with darker skin and a child of indigenous parents, I felt firsthand the colorism inflicted on the Latin Americans in entertainment. As such, I can't describe the joy of recognizing the glorious, talented, I'm not sure how to pronounce that name, but this is the dude playing the Black Panther. Now, what I find interesting about this is the man playing the Black Panther, not the Black Panther, the man playing Namor is not dark skinned. Like, if you ask a black person what is like dark skin to a black person, they would not they wouldn't look at the person playing Namor as a dark skinned person. That's not a dark skinned person, if you ask me. So it's very interesting. But this isn't the only comment where and this is just a few tweets, but this isn't the only one where they're talking about his darker skin. I want to go down here. Now, this is kind of what he looks like. He's not a dark-skinned person. That, like, you could argue that he might be like a light brown. He's not super white, but that's not a dark-skinned person. And then there's another comment where they're talking about, let me see if I can find it. Right here, Wakanda Forever, and I've seen more on Twitter, but Wakanda Forever is already going to be an amazing movie, and they added Tanash Hirita, I believe that's how you pronounce his name. I'm not sure. A dark-skinned Mexican man in a big movie like this means a lot to many of us dark-skinned Mexicans or folks of Mexican descent. And I'm thinking like, so I look at his profile. Look at his profile. This dude is not dark skinned. So that was really kind of throwing me off. Like, okay, what is all this compliment? Oh my God, it's a dark skinned Mexican, dark skin. I'm like, okay, this dude's not dark skinned. But it made me really think about the colorism that goes on in the Latin community. And it's interesting for them to actually be able to tell that, because there was a museum, an African-American museum, that they're making like a whole section on Afro-Latinos. And it's interesting to see you have a whole bunch of Afro-Latinos, specifically on like apps like TikTok, who will confess to being mistreated. You have white Latinos who confess that their family mistreats the darker skinned people in their own community. So, in a lot of these Hispanic communities, they don't treat dark skinned people well at all. Now, if you look up, and I've read some articles, they'll make it seem like that only happens when they get to America because they know that, there's white privilege in America. So they have to like whiten themselves up, or they have to acquiesce to whiteness so they can be treated better in America. But even in the Latin and Hispanic countries, there's a crazy amount of colorism, an incredible amount of colorism. So I saw this video and I want to show it to you guys. Let me share the screen real quick. And B1 to everybody in the chat. It says, if he is a dark-skinned Mexican, then their colorism must be off the charts. Exactly. That dude is the dude is not dark skinned at all. The dude is maybe like a shade or two darker than me, and that dude's not dark skinned. If like he was black, you would consider him light skinned. Like the dude is not a dark skinned person by any means at all. So why are multiple people? And if you go on Twitter, you can see multiple people like, oh my God, he's dark skinned, dark skinned, dark skinned. I'm like, huh? What are you talking about? They're making it seem like he's an Afro Latino. This dude is not an Afro Latino at all. And I'm sure people of his skin tone, when they come to America, they identify as white. If you was to look at his paperwork and like in America, he would identify as white. He aligns himself, or I'm not saying him specifically, but people of his skin tone, despite it not being like the super Caucasian white, despite the slight bit of melanin in his skin tone, he would still identify as white, and most of them do. But let me share this video right here. Zoom in a little bit. Okay, here we go. Hold on. Can I play the video already? All right, here we go.
Tell me somebody's colorist without saying they're colorist.
Latinos are colorist, period. And this is not me being shady or, being against Latinos. I'm Latina, but this is completely true. If a baby is born, everybody expects that baby to be white. If it's not white, people are going to say, ay, está feo. Or like, they're not going to call it ugly, but they're going to call it like not, like they're going to assume he's not pretty just because he's not white. I've received comments before saying, oh my God, you shouldn't go out in the sun because you're going to get very dark. And this is something I had to unlearn because dark skin is beautiful. But I will always hear these comments, she or he, they are pretty, but they're morenos. They are a darker skin tone, so they're not as pretty. And also, if you pay attention in all the telenovelas, in all the shows, who are the protagonists? Yes, white people, white Latinos. What about the brown people? They are usually the maids, people who clean the house, they have dineros and stuff. So you cannot argue against me. Latinos are some of the most colorist people out there.
So now this is a Latino, and she's not an Afro Latino. You would say she was like a white Latino, and she's confessing the fact that because she's not like Caucasian white, she has a bit of like the melanin in her. She's not like an Afro Latino, like you can look at and be like, okay, you're black, you would identify as black. But she has enough melanin, and a lot of Latinos do. They have enough melanin in their bodies to where if they were out in the sun for a long enough period of time, they could get a decent tan. And as she confessed, her family tells her not to go out in the sun. Let me see. I just found this one article. I'm gonna send it. Let me see. Hold on. Let me share. I don't know how to pronounce this person's last name. As you guys already know, I'm not the best with pronouncing last names, but I'm getting better. I am getting better. Hold on. I want to read just a little bit of this to you all. Tariq says, yeah, George Lopez is darker than that guy. Like, they're really doing the most calling him a dark-skinned Latino. I want you to look at this real quick. Let me see if I can pull this up. Encanto star John Leguizamo Legamazmo. I don't know how to pronounce his name. I'm not trying to like make fun of it. I just don't know how to pronounce it. Says he avoids the sun in order to stay light skinned for roles. Okay. Now, I'm sure you guys have seen this person in different movies, even if you haven't like know who he is exactly. But I'm sure you've seen him before. He's been in some pretty big movies. But yeah, he's admitted. Now, I'm not gonna go all the way down, but I'm just gonna read a couple of this real quick. Encanto, I guess that's a movie, starring John L. I'm just gonna call him John L. Said that he avoids the sun in order to stay light skinned for acting roles in a new interview for the Academy Awards series. Okay, and the Academy Awards scene, I guess Scene is a series, a YouTube series. In this Scene YouTube series, oh yeah, of course. Host Nick Barala, you know I'm bad with names, speaks on the Hispanic filmmakers and the actors about the film industry in USC Annenberg Inclusion Initiative study for the top 1,300 top grossing films from 2007 to 2019, found that only 3.5 of the leads and co-leads were Hispanic or Latino across that 13-year time frame. During his experience on the series this week, Lagmaso, the John, who was born in Colombia, said that director Spike Lee and the hashtag Oscars So White campaign encouraged him to speak out against the colorism in Hollywood. So these people are afraid. Now, this is just one example. This is just one small example of the fact that they don't like to get darker. Now he's saying that. Hold on, he's saying that because I don't want to get darker for the movie roles. I just don't want to get darker, because I want to be an actor. But they don't want to get darker in general. They don't like their darkness. They don't like their darkness because they feel like they were this close to being white. Because if you guys know, Spain is in Europe. The Spanish are really white. Now, when they came over here and they were, enslaving the population, the native population in what they call Mexico today, there were a lot of black people. There were a lot of the dark Native Americans. If you go back and you know about the Olmecs and all that stuff, they were dark Native Americans here. They were all what you would consider to be a part of the black race. They were at that time. So a lot of the mixing and all that stuff, you have the Hispanics that you have a lot of whiteness to them. And they like that. A lot of the people in these Hispanic countries, specifically Mexico, they really identify with their Spanish side. You will hear them say things like, if you can't speak Spanish, then you're not a real Mexican. Despite the fact that Spanish comes from Spain, and Spain is a white country, so it's a white language, they don't talk about their native language. They don't really even talk about their native history. They only bring up their native history when we say, okay, you guys are white. They know, I know, right? I'm my great-great-grandmother and grandpappy and all of these, and they'll say stuff like that referring to their native history, which they do have, like DNA-wise. But as far as their culture, most of them, I'm not saying all, but most of them don't really acknowledge the blackness in their culture. They really try to be Spain 2.0. If we're going to be honest, they try to be Spain 2.0. And yeah, exactly. Tariq said it again. The Mayans had dark skin and dreads. These are people who, if you would like to go back in time, I guess go in the time machine or whatever, and go back before the Spanish, you would look at them and say, oh, these are black people. These people had the full lips. These people had dark skin, real dark skin, not the Namor dark skin, but the real dark skin. That's going to become a joke. That's going to become a joke. When Namor dark skin is really light skin for Mexican. Okay, if that's dark skin. So these people, and when I say these people I'm talking about, Hispanics, mainly Mexicans, they don't really like their darkness. But you see them now when it comes to museums and histories, they try to use the Afro-Latino thing. That's one of the things now all of a sudden they've hated their darkness, they hated their skin tone, they La Raza, save the race, purify the race, whiten the race. And now that Black people, specifically Foundation Black Americans, now that we're making so much progress, now all of a sudden you're going to start to see, just pay attention, you're going to start to see a lot of the Hispanics, specifically the Mexicans, like, oh my God, my dark skin is finally being appreciated. I love dark skin. Dark skin is beautiful. Dark skin, dark skin. So it is really it's going to be a false elevation of the Afro-Latinos that were always being ignored, always being mistreated. Now, so they can crowbar, because we're really not with the black and brown stuff. We really caught them with that, because when they would say black and brown, we would look back and we would say, well, okay, yeah, black and brown, but most of you guys identify with white. Most of you guys call yourselves white. You're not Afro-Latinos. You guys are white Latinos. So we're not going to give you the quote-unquote brown pass, because you're not brown. You're white. You want to be white and you act white. You identify as white, and whiteness accepts you. So now it's going to be the Afro-Latinos. And what's interesting is they're going to try to make that vague enough to apply to people who are not Afro-Latinos. That's what I'm thinking when I'm seeing all of the compliments about this dude's Namor skin tone. I'm looking at it like, why are they acting like this is an Afro-Latino, or even really a dark skin Latino? Because Latinos, if you guys don't know, can get very dark. So that dude is not, he looks like an average Latino, to be honest. He's not a dark skin Latino, like by any means at all. So what is up with this? So they're going to be all like, yes, the darker skin. And then what they call darker skin is Namor. They call that the darker skin. So that's just something that I noticed, and I wanted to say it, and it would have been long on a tweet. So I decided to throw that in the video. Like that's very interesting. Very interesting. But we're talking about what they call the people of color. The people of color right here, okay? So, interesting, right? I want to show you this clip from this fellow woman of color. Where is it? For the B1 to everybody in the chat. I said the fat. Yeah. Exactly. They disown their children if they come out too dark. The Hispanic lady just told us that they would call the kids ugly if the kid is too dark. They just automatically expect it to be white. So don't let the black and brown coalition confuse you guys, or they're suddenly starting to praise dark skin, because they've never liked dark skin. They've never liked dark skin. A whole bunch of these Hispanics, they don't go out in the sun like that because they don't want to be dark skinned. They don't like that. Okay, the clip is up here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you guys can, I mean, it's not important for you guys to see, but look, check this out.
Abortion's worse than slavery. Well, I don't care if this hurts your feelings. I don't care. Abortion is the #1 worst human rights issue that has ever happened on American soil.
Okay, let me play that one more time. Yeah.
Abortion's worse than slavery. Well, I don't care if this hurts your feelings. I don't care. Abortion is the #1 worst human rights issue that has ever happened on American soil.
Okay. So, abortion is worse than slavery, she says. Now, I say this. Notice how things are comparable or worse than slavery. Notice how Notice how I wish Twitter, can we all just start like a pension, like something so Twitter can get a damn edit button, please? Please, if I could change one single thing on Twitter, it would just be to add an edit button. You guys are so behind on the edit button. Lord have mercy. If you got to have perfect spelling to be on Twitter, because you will be embarrassed. But anyway, I digress. Okay, but if it was one single thing, if I know Elon Musk messed up Twitter. If he buys Twitter, I will buy some damn Tesla stock for you to add a edit button on Twitter. You're gonna see me spending checks on some Tesla stock. I'm gonna be a sponsor for Tesla just because I want a damn edit button on Twitter. Man, it is anyway, I'm just, venting right now. But anyway, notice how they say things are comparable or worse than slavery, but they never do that with the Holocaust. And a lot of people agree. A lot of people agreed with that. They don't say anything is worse than the Holocaust. They don't ever say anything is worse than the Holocaust. It's always slavery, there were things that are worse than slavery. There were things that are worse than slavery. They always compare slavery to other things. Oh, that's worse than slavery. They don't even play those games with the Holocaust at all. They don't even play those games with like other events that were taken as less significant. They don't play that with 9/11. They don't play that with Pearl Harbor. They don't play that with Sandy Hook. They don't play that with anything that has to do with the grievance of a people who are not black. But when they say stuff like black, oh, well, that's worse than slavery. Now, you clearly know I'm not pro-abortion, but when they say things are worse, I'm like, okay, if it's worse than slavery, then why don't you say it's worse than the Holocaust? You wouldn't say that though. So people started checking this woman. And then this is what she had to say about being checked for slavery, for her comments on slavery. Pull this up. Oh, no. Where's the audio? Okay, there it is.
Hi, hello. This is going to be shocking for many of you to hear, but did you know that Black people are not the only race to have historically experienced slavery? I know this is shocking, but pretty much every civilization in the history of mankind, at some point, their ancestry owned slaves, because slavery was a worldwide human rights issue for a very, very long time, for many centuries. So it doesn't matter if you're white, Black, Asian, Hispanic, whatever. Very likely at some point, your ancestry down the line owned slaves. Doesn't make it right, but that was just the way of the world for a very, very long time. So all these comments like, you're not Black, you can't speak about slavery. It doesn't matter what color your skin is. Slavery was a human rights issue across the world, across all races and all civilizations for a long time. And the United States was one of the first countries to abolish it very quickly and efficiently. So all the comments about being a non-Black person, you can't speak about slavery, every single civilization has experienced slavery at some point.
Okay. All right now. Okay, so let me look through the comments before I break it down, because I don't want to ignore comments. I got to get better with that. B1 the Ace Keeper, he's in the room. What says? Muffet says she should have said that abortion was worse than the Asians being interned during World War II. Exactly. Why don't you pick on the Asian grievance? Why don't you say if abortion is just the worst thing in human history, and that's your opinion on that, why don't we say abortion is worse than the bombing, the nukes that was dropped on Nagasaki and Hiroshima? You can just say that. Abortion is worse than the bombings that were dropped on Japan. If it was that bad, why don't you say that about your people? Don't bring our people in there, because your people have been through stuff. Why don't you say that about your people? Wire Sports says Latin American society has an honor system based on skin tone. Dark skin are looked down upon, pale skin are praised and being higher class. That's very true. Brother Torian says, she said shocking, like we didn't know history. It isn't shocking with her gingin mustard looking ass. Yeah, exactly. It says, hold on, new comments. This is, yeah. Now, So yeah, she bragged about working with Candace Owens actually. So she knows Candace Owens on a personal level, and she likes Candace. She bragged about that. Says, does she want to talk about the Asians who own slaves? I don't think she wants to have that conversation about the Asians who own slaves, the Asians who own black slaves, because they talk about the black and brown, the black and yellow coalition, black and Asian coalition. Asians can't stand black people. They can't stand darkness at all. They do the same thing the Hispanics do. They don't like to be out in the sun. I want you to know something. When you see the Hispanics, like not the Hispanics, I mean, when you see the Asians, when you see them outside with umbrellas and stuff, and that's something that happens very frequently in Asian culture. If you like look at videos of Asian women and they walk around with umbrellas in the day, just plain day, no rain or anything. They walk around with umbrellas because they don't want their skin to get darker. That is not because, oh my God, the skin is just so hot. It's just so hot outside. They walk around with umbrellas because they don't want their skin being darkened by the sun. And it's a common thing to not have your skin darkened by the sun in Asian cultures. They have incredibly anti-black TV shows where they have blackface and everything in their TV shows. They have TV shows. I know you guys have seen the one where the Asian woman put the black man in the washer machine, and then he came out this Asian man as if the black person was dirty and the Asian dude was clean. I'm sure you guys have seen that, right? I'm sure you guys have seen that. Let me see. Yeah, it's true. As I remember when it was the biracial black and Asian woman who won the title Miss Japan, and they called her all kinds of racial slurs. Oh yeah. They can't stand that. They can't stand that. Now she's talking about slavery, right? She's talking about slavery. Oh, everybody in the world has been through slavery. I argue that that's not really the truth, because and it is the truth and it's not the truth. And let me explain. Because slavery back during like the time prior to the slave trade, the slavery that we know, because when we hear slavery, just the word slavery, the first thing that pops into everybody's mind, really in the world, is the slavery that we've been through. There was slavery prior to that. And that was really in certain instances where you owed somebody some money, or you owed somebody a favor or debt, and you were an indentured servant, which is what the Irish were. So don't let the Irish get away with saying that they were slaves, because they were never slaves. But you have indentured servants. You also have prisoners of war. If you conquered a land, a country, a village, or whatever, then the prisoners would be your slaves. Now, there would still be rules with that, though. There would still be, okay, if that person converted to, I guess, your religion, and you can't have them as slaves. And I'm just speaking in general, not any like land specifically. Or, you know, if that person paid his or her debt off, then that person was free to go. And there would still be rights. Like you couldn't kill your slave. Or if your slave have children, that child is not your property. You know what I'm saying? They would still have rights. American slavery, the slavery that we've been through, is so very unique. You can almost argue that is not even what they went through, isn't even slavery. If what you call slavery is what we went through, what they went through isn't even slavery. It's like on a completely incomparable level, what we went through versus what they went through. First off, no group of people besides us has been slaves centuries straight, just century after century. You know, we're being slaved, the babies being fed as alligator bait, the women being their bodies, you know, the pregnant women's bodies, the baby being beaten out of the women, you being lynched and hung and buck broken by the slave master. They would have things where they would tie the limbs of the slave, and they would have horses run in a different direction as you were like caught with the rope attached to your limbs, and then your limbs would rip apart because the horses are running in different directions. And I could go on and on and on about the horrors of slavery. We can talk about even like the experiments, you know, the what they call the grandfather of gynecology, not gynecology, J. Morrison Sims. He experimented on black women, on, you know, black women's private parts. And they gave him the credit for being the father of gynecology, and he did it without any anesthesia. They would just be opening black people. And they had anesthesia, but they had the racist science that, oh, well, black people don't feel pain like that. They're not even really human like that. So anything we do to them is justified because black people are really not as human as we are. When they said the 3/5 of a human being, that was for really political purposes, but that's really how they thought. They really thought of black people as that, which is very unique because even when you study slavery across the world and other people's slavery, Marion Sims, I keep getting that name mixed up. Marion Sims, okay. I keep saying Morrison Sims. Thank you for that. When they would, if you study the slavery across the world, it really wasn't like the slavery of America, where you were like considered 3/5 of a human being, and your slave master was like a god in comparison to you, and you had a disease if you didn't want to serve him. They would literally say that slaves who didn't want to work on the plantation, they were mentally sick. They had a disease, and they called it something, and I forgot about what they called it. But that's really the slavery that we went through. So when we say, hey, you can't speak on slavery, I don't want you to talk about, oh, well, my people were slaves. And what they would call slavery is, oh, yeah, well, my people, they worked, but they really got paid low income. They got paid low income for the work that they were doing, which, as bad as that is not slavery. It's not slavery at all. Now, David, hold on. David says, in Professor Black Truth's Racist Asian series, he mentioned Officer Liang, who killed a black man in New York. Excuse me, let me get some water. Exactly. He killed Peter Liang. I like that. Peter Liang killed a Kai Gurley in cold blood. Cold blood. And all of the Asians in the Asian community stood up for him. Now, this is why we say as FBA, hey, when it comes to slavery, when you're referring to our slavery, don't speak on it unless you have the lineage for it. Because what you guys been through is not slavery. You will have the Asian community, they will argue that the Asians who came over here voluntarily, who came over here and they worked on the railroads, which they didn't invent because there were railroads that were built by slaves already prior to them coming over here. And even when they came over here and the railroads that they were building and working on, they weren't working on those by themselves. They were still working on those with other black people. They'll say that that's slavery because they didn't get paid that much. They weren't really making that much money. But the slaves who were actually working with them, they didn't get paid anything at all. So yeah, you had some Asians who are working in dangerous conditions and not getting paid much of anything, but that's not slavery. That's not slavery. So they will, if you let them say, well, everybody had slavery and technically that's slavery, that's slavery, that's slavery. No, what we had is completely different. It's not comparable to anything at all. And you see the way she's talking to black people, like a little Candace Owens, like the little Asian Candace Owens. These are like the alt-right. These are the people of color that we're supposed to be teaming up with. These are the people of color that have our back or have similar experiences to us, but they're just as racist as alt-right. When you let them confess, when you let them talk, they'll sound just as alt-right as white alt-right people. Hold on, let me see something. I'm going to look this up. I just thought about this. I just actually thought about this. Hold on. I want to look this up real fast for you guys. Okay, hold on. Look this up. I'm trying to see if I can find it. It's on Twitter. I gotta scroll through. If I can't find it, then I might have to reference this a little bit later. I'm trying to find it. Come on, it's here somewhere. I might not be able to find it, y'all. But it was another Asian dude going off. Another Asian dude. We're talking about how these people of color have alt-right tendencies. These people of color act alt-right as hell. I don't think I can find it. Maybe they took it down. Yep, they probably took it down. But it's okay. It's okay. Let me see what the comments are saying. Let me see. The dominant society is demonic and they will infect the whole world. It is time to do away with white supremacy. Long overdue. 100% agree. Couldn't agree more. Ace Keeper. Medical apartheid is a priceless account of some of the horrors portrayed against us. Very much so. Very much so. It says they shouldn't say any when these Chinese have slaves in Africa today. They do. Slavery is very much so alive and well in China today. They still practice their anti-blackness. Okay. Now, these are what they call the people of color who have alt-right tendencies. I'm sure you guys have seen this. If you guys have been on my page, I'm sure you guys have seen this. And I saved this one for last for a very important reason. Let me go through it real quick. Where is this? Now, this woman, this not Asian woman, well, technically she is Asian because India is in Asia, but this Hispanic woman, why did I say Hispanic? This Indian woman took the video down, but not before I was able to find something and then edit it and then put it back up. Now, the last few seconds of the video, is not there. It's like mute. But check this out, and I want you to see. Let me make it bigger for you guys so you guys can really see it. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but check this out.
All right, guys. So I know a lot of you guys have been asking about a boyfriend haul, and here is.
I'm not your boyfriend. I'm your husband.
Boyfriend haul. So I got him so long ago. I got him like about 16 years ago, but I had to return him one time. It was a long time ago, but I returned him and he came back better than ever. I like to go for like a chocolate on chocolate, so black on black. I love like purebred. This is a purebred.
I'm confused on what are we doing.
We're giving them a haul. So this is purebred Nigerian from the motherland. I don't like to crossbreed. We got the full Nigerian here. What else? One really good thing about this one is it cooks, it cleans. Actually, no, it doesn't cook. I take that back. That's next season's, but not this season's one. We're working on it.
I do everything else.
And then it goes mute. It goes mute right there. I'm not sure why. I tried to look for a copy that it didn't go mute, but like for the last 10 seconds or so, it just goes mute. That's her fault. I don't know. But yeah, hold on, y'all. Really, now, of course, she's gonna say, oh, it was just a bad joke. It was a bad joke, but there's a lot to break down with that. It's a whole lot. Before I go into it, let me play this again for y'all. For the ones just coming in the room, let me play this one more time. Hold on. Look at this.
All right, guys. So I know a lot of.
And I'm gonna pause it now. I want to play the whole thing, in the beginning, and now I'm gonna start breaking it down as we're playing.
You guys have been asking about a boyfriend haul, and here is.
I'm not your boyfriend. I'm your husband.
Boyfriend haul.
First off, the disrespect. If that's her husband and she's referring to it as the boyfriend, I get that's a joke, but I wouldn't want my wife to to make it a joke like that. I mean, I'm just saying, like, don't be calling your spouse your boyfriend. But what I first noticed is this dude walked out without a shirt on. Now, I've seen videos where, you know, the girl, if especially if the girlfriend is like, you know, has a social media influence, then she'll do like, oh my God, guys, I'm gonna do a boyfriend reveal, and here he is. We met in college and all of that stuff, and it's supposed to be like that because a lot of people ask, oh, where's your man? Where's your husband? But she pulls this man out, and this man doesn't have a shirt on. That's the first thing that caught my attention when I first saw him. I'm like, what? Okay. That's interesting. And then I continue to play it.
So I got him so long ago. I got him like about 16 years
saying
ago.
I got him, not like we met. She's saying I got him as if this person is an item. As if this is her pet. Notice, I want you to pay attention to how she keeps referring to her husband like he's a pet to her.
But I had to return him one time. It was a long time ago, but I returned him and he came back better than ever. I like to go for like a chocolate.
And this dude is just sitting up there smiling and get like, this dude, Lord have mercy. Nigerians, where you at? You need to come get your mans, Nigerians. Come get your mans. Okay. Because, man, this is a bad look.
On chocolate, so black on black. I love like purebred.
Now, this is the most interesting part when she starts describing him and describing what she likes.
I like to go for like a chocolate on chocolate, so black on black. I love like purebred. This is a purebred.
I'm confused on what are we doing.
We're giving them a haul. So this is purebred Nigerian from the motherland. I don't like to crossbreed. We got the full Nigerian here.
See, what's interesting when she says the full Nigerian, I don't like to crossbreed. She's saying that as if this person is an animal. And when I tell you guys about these interracial relationships, these people, these non-black people, look at black people, even the ones they're in a relationship. Mind you, this is her husband. This isn't somebody she's dating or her boyfriend. This is somebody she's married and they have children together. And she's referring to this person as if he is an animal, like he's a dog that they're breeding together. Yeah, I like them black on black. I prefer natural from the motherland. And I'm really, that is, now she's saying this as if it's a joke, as if, oh my God, I'm being dramatic and I'm joking. But this is actually how they think. This is how they act when it comes to black people. And this Nigerian buck-broken dude over here is just smiling and giggling. I guess, I don't know, I guess he's not going to say anything. He's not going to sacrifice his green card because she said he came straight from the motherland. So she must be his green card ticket. And he don't want to go back to the motherland. So he ain't going to say nothing and just smile in the camera like a buck-broken slave. That's what he's doing right here. So, I mean, is the motherland that bad that you would sacrifice your dignity and self-respect? Is it that bad? Man. So as she continues, it's gonna go mute in a few seconds, but
what else? One really good thing about,
and then look at this. I mean, the video just keeps getting worse.
One really good thing about this one is,
one really good thing about this one, I'm like, that's how you refer to your spouse? One good thing about this one, like you just been through them. This woman is talking like she just been through a bunch of Nigerians and she finally picked one that she liked.
It cooks, it cleans.
Hold on, I don't know if you guys are hearing that properly. Listen to this.
It cooks, it cleans. It cooks, it cleans. It cooks, it cleans.
This woman is referring to her husband that she has children with as in it. It cooks, it cleans. At what point are you not joking? At what point are you really being serious? And this buck broken dude is sitting up there just smiling like a damn dummy. She said, you better take that shirt off and you better smile or else you're going back to the motherland.
It cleans. This one is it cooks, it cleans. Actually, no, it doesn't cook. I take that back.
And this dude is laughing. She said, it doesn't cook, and then he's laughing. What?
Seasons, but not this season's one. We're working on it.
I do everything else.
And I do everything else. You can clearly tell who's the damn slave master in this relationship. I swear she be calling him nigger in bed. I can already see it. This dude is not in the slightest bit offended that he's walking out like he's a slave being bragged about. She's talking like this is a slave she just bought and showing her little Indian friends. Look at my slave. Look at my little nigger I just bought. It cooks, it cleans. Oh, it doesn't cook, but we're working on that. I'm still training him. I'm just training my slave. And then he gives a big chuckle. Ha 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 ha. I'm working on everything else, massa. I'm sorry, massa, that I don't really cook that well, massa, but I am cleaning, massa. I'm gonna cook better for you, massa. I'm gonna cook your oily ass Indian dishes, massa.
We're working on it.
I do everything else.
And I'm not sure exactly what she says after the fact. There's probably some more disrespectful, racist stuff, but it goes mute after that. So I'm not sure what else she says. But yeah, these tethers have no respect for themselves. They have no respect for themselves at all. Like, man, and you just as a man, you just gonna let your wife talk about you like that. And as a wife, you have no respect for your husband at all to be referring to him as an it. Exactly. Torian says, it's cringe from beginning to end. Like the first few seconds all the way to the end. It was just cringe after cringe. Man. Hold on. Man. All his friends are white. You can already tell he does not hang around black people. He doesn't, especially FBA, because there's no way we would have let that slide. We wouldn't have let that slide at all. You know, even when and people will say, well, FBA, you guys date outside your race too. You guys date outside your race. When FBA do, and that's not something that I'm like super approving of. I'm okay when FBA do date outside the race, you don't really see that. You don't really see that. The open slave fetish. You don't really see that when FBA do it. You don't really see them walking black people out like they're a slave. Like there was one clip, or it was a picture, I'm sorry, of black dude, and he had his white wife, and they were taking wedding photos in a cotton field. And he had chains on in the beginning, and then she was in one picture he had chains on, and she was on top. He was on his knees, and she was taking the chains off, and then in the next picture they're hugging and kissing, and I'm all like a slave themed wedding. And the person was, I believe he was from Nigeria, but I know he wasn't FBA. See, we don't really do that. Even the FBA who are off code enough to date outside their own ways, they don't do the extra slave display. They don't really do that. See, that's why, and I'm trying to really educate black people on this. When they say love is love, and it doesn't matter who you love. Yes, it does. It absolutely does. I will always keep that opinion. These non-black people, and not even the white people, because that woman isn't white. She's not white. She's a white Indian, you could say, but she's not a white Caucasian. Even when these non-white people who are not black, when they date black people or marry black people, they still view black people in the eyes that the dominant society views black people. They don't view black people as fellow minorities or peers or, you know, other people of color or whatever they say. They don't see love as love. They see it like, hey, you're still a nigger to me. I like you. I like sleeping with you and the relationship, but I am the master in this relationship. She is referring to her husband as if she is her master. She is the master, and this is like a little pet dog. I mean, I don't even see them really referring to their dogs as an it. You don't refer to living beings as it like that. They don't even refer to their dogs and cats as it. I mean, to be honest, it's probably in our best interest that we didn't hear what the last few things she said before she stopped the video. Because who knows what she could have said. If I find like the original clip, now she took it down, of course, but if I find the real clip of what she really said, I will show you guys the last few seconds. Now, something else I saw that I found very interesting. Let me look through, see where it was. Man, hold on. I'm trying to see it. Okay. It's not my likes. It's not my, hold on. I'm trying to see if it's in my retweets. Okay, it's not there. And I wish I would have saved it. I swear I wish I would have saved it. I'm looking for this one thing. There was a clip. I guess this is like some type of dating show or something like that where okay, I saw something. Okay, Twitter is funny. I just saw something else on Twitter. I'm not gonna show it to you guys. It's pretty offensive, but yeah. I want to show you guys something, but as I'm looking this up, because there's a couple things when we talk about the people of color and when we talk about dating and all that, and they'll make it seem like oh, light skin or these people, white men, man, I cannot find that damn video. I swear I retweeted it. I swear I did. I can't find it. Oh well, I'm not gonna spend all day looking for it. It wasn't meant to be right now. Maybe for another time. But I want to show you this real quick before we get out of here. Let me share my screen. In that. Are you guys liking this video? Please make sure you do that. Please make sure you like, and please make sure you subscribe if you have not done so already. Now, Tariq posted this. Zoom in a little bit. Y'all check this out.
Small town.
Priority.
Yeah.
Over equality.
Wait your turn to those young raza or raza who want to believe that. You better turn your TV, brother. You better turn your radio back.
So what these black lives matter that they want to be paid for being slaves and
Liberation.
Yeah, there.
Well, I heard they passed in North Carolina.
Yes.
It was a small little town in North Carolina that passed reparations for whoever's over there. I'm sure they'll try to do something out here in California. I think they already actually got a little board going that they're going to start looking into it. So
yeah, that's what we, the Raza, need to step up, protest, and I'm talking major, and turn around and tell them, no, nobody gave reparations until the Native Americans, and the Mexicans get ours first. We've been going through this stuff a lot longer, so I don't want to hear it. Because it's not fair, dog. How are you going to give a bunch of money to a specific group, dog? This is the United States melting pot. How are you going to give it to a specific group?
Because right now they've got the white people with so much guilt. It was your parents.
Oh, y'all see that? Do y'all see that? This is the black and brown people. This is the people of color. Now, I made this talking about the women, specifically the women, that Asian woman. I mean, you're seeing it from the Asians, you're seeing it from the Indians, you're seeing it from the Hispanics. So let me ask you guys, What's up with these people of color? Where's all of this anti-blackness coming from with these people of color? I thought we were all minorities. I thought we were all people of color and black and brown and yellow and all of these other colors. What is all of this? Okay. This now let's break it down. Let's break this down. Okay. Let's break this down. Let me go back. You know how I like to do? I like to play the whole thing from beginning to end, and then I like to break it down second time around because I don't want people saying you took it out of context.
Priority.
Yeah, wait your
Over
turn,
equality.
wait your turn, and to those young raza or raza who want to believe that, you better turn your TV, brother. You better turn your radio.
Now, mind you, these people would identify as white Hispanics. These are white people on their paperwork. These are white people.
What do you think about these Black Lives Matter that they want to be paid for being slaves and all that?
Reparations.
Yeah, there.
Are you talking about? Well, I heard they passed in North Carolina.
Yes.
But it was
What?
It was a small little town in North Carolina that passed reparations for whoever's over there. I'm sure they'll try to do something out here in California. I think they already actually got a little board going that they're going to start looking into it. So
yeah, and that's when we, the raza, need to step up.
Now, notice he says La Raza, which is a white. You study Spanish. These are people who are referring to themselves as white. See, these people, and when I talk about Hispanics, they don't want black people getting anything, nothing at all that they don't get. They will now, and I specifically I did this on purpose when I showed the Black Panther and how everybody's all like, oh my god, look at Namor, the dark-skinned Namor, look at how dark he is, and oh my god, I love the blackness. And they're talking about, they're like, oh, dark skin. I'm like, don't let that, I wanted you guys to know, don't let the fake praise of the dark skin fool you. They're still very much so anti-black. They're very much so anti-black because they'll say the dark skin to make it seem as if the Mexicans, the Hispanics, the Latino, the whatever are compatible with black people, and the darkness, oh yeah, we're both dark, and it's us and you together, and I have a blackie brother and we're dark skinned and all of these, and they'll say that to trick black people. That was to show, oh my god, my dark skin, to trick black people. And then when they're having a conversation among themselves and they can be candid and honest, they'll say things like, black people, reparations, what? For what? Slavery, what? No, we need to stand up and protest. We need to protest. So they don't mind, and mind you, Namor's not like a super big comic book character like that. Like Namor, if Namor had his own movie, not too many people would be flocking to see Namor. So they have to introduce Namor with Black Panther, and everybody loves Black Panther. So this is literally the Hispanics piggybacking off of black people again, like they always do, like they always have had to do. They have to introduce Hispanic superheroes through black superheroes, because Hispanics can't hold a candle to black people. So they make their come up off of us, and they talk about dark skin. Yeah, dark skin Hispanic. And then when they're in closed doors, they're talking about how black people shouldn't get anything. These people now, if it was reparations for black and brown people, you wouldn't see them saying anything at all, despite the fact that they don't identify as brown. You wouldn't see them saying anything. But since we're saying no is only lineage-based reparations, so only FBA gets reparations, then it's, oh, we need to protest, and La Raza, why don't we not give reparations too? Okay. And after this, I'm gonna show you something else. Hold on, let me see if I can find something else too. Let me look. Since we want to talk about the people of color, I gotta go way back in my bookmarks for all of this though. Let me see if I still have it. Hopefully I do. Hopefully I do. But I want to see. Hold on, look at this. I posted this like what? a year ago. I'm gonna close this out. I'm gonna close this. We're gonna pick back up on this, but I want you to see now. Was it Tariq? You just referred to George Lopez earlier in this broadcast. I want you to listen to this. I don't know if you guys have seen this clip of George Lopez. They're talking about Hispanics and La Raza and black and brown and how proud they are that dark skinned Namor is coming to the MCU. Why don't you look at this? This is George Lopez in a stand-up.
You can't take a joke, you're in the wrong motherfucking place. Bye.
Hold on.
You can't take a joke, you're in the wrong motherfucking place.
Okay, hold on. It's gonna circle back again. Let me see. Let me see. Damn, hold on.
You can't take a joke.
Okay. Damn. Okay. I don't know why the clip is not showing the beginning, but George Lopez said in the stand-up, and you can look this up on YouTube, George Lopez said that there's two things that you don't do that's not allowed in the Hispanic community. Number one is marrying a black person. That's the first thing he said. Number two is taking their parking spot. Then a black woman got offended, and he said, if you can't take he called her a bitch, said you can't take another a joke, then you're in the wrong mother effing place, bye, and kicked her out. That's George Lopez, the brown coalition that we get told there's a Afro-Latino and brown coalition, and then you see what these quote unquote brown people think about black people. You see what all of these people of color think about black people. But I want to continue with these damn fat ass Latinos over here. Let's see what these people are saying.
Protest, and I'm talking major, and turn around and tell them, no, nobody gave reparations until the Native Americans and the Mexicans get ours first.
Now, see, and this is why it's important for FBA to acknowledge the fact that we are Native Americans. We are indigenous to this country. We're indigenous. Now, I want you to understand the whole argument that, well, indigenous people, they should get their stuff first. They should get their stuff first. They should get their stuff first. They don't ever say that when it comes to any other group of people. When Asians got reparations for being locked up, the Japanese got reparations for being locked up in their internment camps, they weren't talking about, well, you can't give them any money until you give the Native Americans stuff. When the damn white people, the alternatives, the LGBT, when the white ones, when they came and got reparations for, or when Biden is offering them reparations for states not allowing them to get married, nobody's talking about, well, what about the Native Americans? What about the Native Americans? When other groups of people get any bit of money, any bit of anything, is never, what about the Native Americans? What about the Native Americans? Joe Biden is sending billions of dollars right now to Ukraine for aid about what Russia is doing to them. And you don't hear anybody saying, well, what about the Native Americans? What about the Native Americans? The only time you hear anybody say anything about Native Americans and Native Americans got to get it first, and what about the Native Americans? They only say that when it's black people getting anything tangible. When black people are getting anything tangible, then it's, well, the Native Americans, they got to come first. Now, what about the Native Americans? And then this dude has the audacity to talk about the Hispanics.
We've been going through this crap a lot longer, so I don't want to hear it. We've been going through this crap a lot longer, so
hold on,
reparations until the Native Americans and the Mexicans get ours first.
And the Mexicans, Native Americans and the Mexicans get theirs first.
We've been going through this crap a lot longer, so I don't want to hear it. Because it's not fair, dog. How are you going to give a bunch of money to a specific group, dog? This is the United States, a melting pot. How are you going to give it to a specific group?
Because right now
how are you going to give it to a specific group, dog? This is a melting pot. How are you going to give it to a specific group? We're black and brown and we're in this together. How are you going to give them money? I want money too. Why do the black people get the money and we don't get any money? Okay. Now, what's interesting about this is when AOC, remember AOC talking about how she's mixed with indigenous and black, but she's not black and she's Spanish and all of that. When they talk about giving their people money, when they have all of these programs, the Dreamer programs, the whatever programs that they have where they get money, when they get something tangible, the sovereign lands with the sanctuary cities that they get to be a part of, and they don't even get to be citizens in the country. And then they're arguing for voting rights for people who don't even belong in the country when they get tangibles. Do you guys know, I don't know if you guys do, but do you know that Hispanics, even the illegal Hispanics who come over here, they get to receive government assistance faster than foundational Black Americans do? When they call and they call for like government assistance, like the food stamps and welfare, the stuff that they say Black people get all the time, the freebies that they say Black people get all the time, the affirmative action that they say Black people get all the time, they take priority over us, and they don't even have to be citizens. Do you know in New York, landlords can't even threaten to call ICE on their tenants for not paying the rent, or they can be charged and arrested? They can't even threaten, like, hey man, you haven't been paying your rent, you've been short on rent for 2-3 months. If you don't start, coming up with the rent, I'm calling the ICE and you're getting out of here. They can call somebody and they can get their landlord arrested for threatening to evict them and call ICE. Foundational Black Americans, we don't do that. You have in California, and Jason Black brings this up, in California, the police sheriff says that when they pull over illegal alien, if they don't have a license, which a lot of them don't because they're illegal aliens, when they don't have a license, they won't impound the car because that would become a hardship for them to get their car back. Now, they don't do that with Black people. I can give you a long laundry list of things that happens to illegal aliens because they drug their fat ass over here. They couldn't get it popping in Mexico, so they came over here to the land that we built for them, because it seems like only FBA can really get stuff together. We're the only ones who can build a land that people want to come to. Nobody else is flocking to Mexico. Nobody is flocking to Mexico. Nobody's trying to live with Mexico. They're coming over here to us, to America, and they're sitting up there puffing their chest that you've been doing what longer? And if we want to talk about the discrimination, if we want to talk about the racism that Black and brown people fight for, a lot of that is due to brown people. You go to some of these, you go to New York specifically, a lot of the officers that beat up Black people, they're brown. A lot of the people that we're protesting against when it comes to Black Lives Matter, they're brown officers. A lot of them are. Exactly. They have more rights in this country than we do. They have more rights in this country than we do. Recently in Chicago, there was when I say recently, I mean like a few years ago, not like recently, but a few years ago, there was a factory. I think it was some type of baking factory or food factory where most of the people that were hired were illegal aliens, and they only hired like 10% of FBA. And then they called ICE on the factory, got these aliens out of the building, and then now it's like 90% FBA working in the building. They tell us, oh, you got to just work hard and pull yourself up by your boots. See, that's the thing. The brown people from Mexico, we know how to work hard. They know how to work hard. Okay. But they need the handout. They need the handout that we provide them. Now, when it comes to reparations, when AOC was advocating for reparations for the internment camps, for the illegal Mexicans coming over here and dropping their little kids off over here, and the kids getting locked up, they're saying that the kids who got locked up for committing a felony, they deserve reparations for getting caught and locked up. And nobody complains about that. Nobody said, well, what about the Native Americans? Don't they get reparations? I mean, they got to get reparations too before you give reparations to the kids in cages. Nobody says that. These Hispanics, they're not on your side. Don't let them fool you with the Black Panther movie when they have the black and brown, because the thing is, Namor's not like a villain like that. He's like an anti-hero. So eventually, what's going to happen is they're probably going to fight in the beginning, and then they're going to wind up being teammates or something like that, or agree to disagree. Don't let the little black and brown thing and Black Panther fool you. These Hispanics, for a solid majority, even the quote unquote dark skinned ones, they're very anti-black. Do not let that the media try to trick you up with that. Do not let them do that. Let me see some of the he says the meth monsters, mostly PC, get to ripe up there on the street in front of PF cops out there. In front PF the cops out there. It says dumb them off in Spain and see how well that works. Yep. They want to talk about Spain. This is dump them off in Spain and see how well that works. They want to talk about Spain, the Spanish, and this Spanish. We from Mexico and this Spanish. Okay, all right. You're from Mexico, you're Spanish. Then you drop them off in Spain, and the Spanish be like, well, you're not we don't call you Spanish. You're not Spanish. You're not Spanish. But they want to talk about how Spanish they are. Now, you said Namor and T'Challa. If you guys actually do know about the comics, Namor and T'Challa have long-standing beef in the comics. They are like rivals in the comics. Namor is like the king of Atlantis. So Atlantis and Wakanda have always had like a rivalry going on. But he says you don't think that'll play out that way in the movie, though. It might not. It might not. It might play out with Namor being a friend. I don't know exactly. But if it does, don't let that try to fool you, because they'll try to throw the little subliminals. You see, the black and brown, we really get together. It's really about black. Hold on. There was another one. There's this one clip. I want to show you guys this clip. They'll say the black and brown makes the world go round. You see? It's the black and brown together. We have to fight this together. Okay, look at this. And shout out to Nas for posting this. All right. Let me pull this out. Oh, first off, shout out to the $20 super chat from Queen Nile. I appreciate you, sister. I really much so do. Thank you very much for the super chat. I gotta unshare. I'll be trying to share, but I realize I have to unshare one screen to share another screen. You can't share multiple screens. So look at this.
Damn, I'm looking at Instagram and I see his people jumping on my people. I thought black and brown make the world go around, motherfuckers. You feel me? You give a fuck what you is, an essay, a chongo, a nigga, crip, blood. I don't give a fuck. Understand these words from me. Black and brown make the world go round, you stupid motherfuckers. The inside of my hand is brown, the outside is black. Put it together to make a hard impact. Mexican and African, it sounds the same. White don't. Asian, Cambodian, it sound the same. White don't. Tongan, Samoan, it sound the fucking same. White don't. Stop giving the white the pleasure of seeing us going against each other. You dumb motherfuckers. I said it. Fuck is wrong with y'all? Imply your mind, get covered with your grind, and motherfucker get this dough. Build empires to go against the white man, though. Damn, I'm looking at Instagram.
Now, y'all listen. Listen. First off, the dude got a spectrum ring in his nose. I mean, if y'all gonna take that serious, I mean, just that alone. Let me show you. Like, is that something y'all would take serious anyway? Y'all gonna take somebody black and brown? You gonna take that serious? Anybody like that? I'm not trying to be judgmental, but just that dude, I'm not taking too serious anyway. But this dude, the first thing he says is he sees the Mexicans jumping on the black dude, and he's not going to address the fact that Mexicans are jumping on black people. He's just going to say, can't we all just get along? Now, this would be the same dude talking about black on black crime. What about black on black crime? Oh, we got to do better. We got to team up with them. So I said this. And I keep having to remind people of this. I will never, ever, ever let anybody forget about this. Look at this. This is what I posted. Let me show you. It says Black Chicagoans being harassed in some Latino neighborhoods. Officials say we are in this struggle together. We ain't in no struggle together. We're not in any struggle together. You just heard the other fat ass Latino talk about if we get reparations, the raza is gonna protest. How do you get money and we don't get money? We want just as much money as you do. They will protest so we don't get reparations. I told you guys in a broadcast I did not too long ago that don't be surprised now that we're cutting all this black and brown stuff out. Now that we're stopping that dead in its tracks, don't be surprised when you see them become more openly alt-right against black people. All of that black and brown, that's not going to work anymore. It's not going to be we're in this together. No, it's not like that. It's never been like that. These black and brown people, they think they're white. That's what they think. Even the Mexicans say that. The Latina woman, she said the black babies. She said that those babies are, ugly babies because they're brown. Yeah, don't believe these black and brown, these people of color. The Asian woman talking about slavery. Well, slavery was everywhere. And you niggers, I can talk about slavery. Because abortion is worse, even though I do approve of the abortion that kills black babies, but abortion is worse than slavery. You niggers haven't really been through anything. Everybody can talk about slavery. Then you had the damn Indian woman, whatever she called herself, sent up there bragging about her Nigerian boyfriend and talking about it cooks, it cleans. And he's sitting up there laughing like, please don't take my green card away from me, baby. You know I need my green card. I do not want to go back to the motherland. they shooting Wakanda forever. He saw the Wakanda trailer and he got scared. He's like, oh no, I don't want to go back to Wakanda, please. You don't want to do a TikTok, baby? Please. I will do anything you say. I do not want to go back to Wakanda. So these people of color, they're not for black people. They will pretend in the beginning, oh my God, the brown skin Namor, the brown, he's so dark. He's just the darkest Mexican I've ever seen in my life. He's so dark. And then when you're not looking, they'll say, hey, we're protesting your reparations because I'd be damned if you get something that we don't. That's what they think. This is what they think. The Indians, they treat black people. Oh, let's not even talk about the damn caste system in India. Let's not even begin to have that conversation because we'd be here for another 2-3 hours if we talk about the caste system in India. Let's not talk about the caste system in Asia, in Japan, in China. Let's not talk about that. Let's not talk about all of the racist anti-black commercials that they have there. Remember, Tori and Rain did a video on this, where it was like a basketball athletes who were coming in to play basketball in China. They were on a bus, and then you had a whole bunch of Asians outside the bus. The second the black basketball players got off the bus, they were like, nigger, 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 nigger. They were calling the black basketball players nigger. They were recording it on their phones saying nigger, nigger, nigger to the black basketball players in China. Or it was in South Korea. Okay, South Korea. One of those Asian countries. I don't know. They all look the same. In one of those Asian countries. So that's how they feel. And then don't let them trick you to be all like, oh, they feel like that when they get over here. No, they feel like that when they get over here. They feel like that in their homeland. They feel like that in their homeland. So no, we're not gonna partner up with the damn. It was in China. It was in China. Yeah, I thought it was in China. Okay, it was in China, South Korea. It was one of those damn Asian countries where they be eating dogs and bats and shit. I just know that. It says it will be. He says, but it will be them shops speaking their native tongue accent, like they don't know English. Exactly. They know the N-word. They know the N-word, but then when they're in the where they're in the damn Asian shops, they'll talk like they don't know English. I know speak of English. No. All of these people of color are against black people. They're just as alt-right as the damn white supremacists. They try to compensate and offset their melanin. They try to do that so they be extra alt-right. You'll see some of the most frequent racism from these people of color. They try to show the fact that they're alt-right and they hate blackness, despite the fact that we've never done anything to them except help them. Exactly. But black people have to stop attacking Asians. We got to be nice to Asians. What have they ever done to black people? We have to stop being what have you niggers ever done to you just dirty niggers. Look at you. It says, shout out to you for doing this stream. Exactly. Thank you, Tori. I appreciate that. And shout out to all of you guys for liking. I'm gonna get off here in a second, but shout out to everybody watching. Oh, we have Beatzilla in the room. Beatzilla, B1 to you, bro. We have, of course, our sister Nikki, brother Torian. You know, we had Gravity. We had the mods up in here. RG Titan. Let's fix Mississippi. Okay. Let me see. Latorba. This is African American Traditional Government. Tia, another mod. Phantom is in here. Aaron is in here. We got a lot of people in here. We have Eric is in here. Mr. Lone Wolf is in here. We have Muffin is in here. Mayo is in here. We have, let me see. Real Really is in here. We got a lot of brothers and sisters in here. It says RPUS2B. So what's up, fam? Okay, what's up with you? What's up with your family? Oh yeah. Make sure you guys, if you guys haven't followed me on my social media, it's in the description below. So you guys can follow me on my Instagram and my Twitter. Let me do it. I'm always forgetting to do this. My Instagram and my Twitter is in the description below. The links are in there. Our co-host Nikki has been posting those, throughout the chat room, throughout the live. So you guys can go there. You guys can follow me. You guys can stay up to date on, different things I'm going on with the channel collabs and so on and so forth. Please make sure you like this video. It's very important so we can grow the channel. Brittany is very correct. In the Latino community, their music and their foods are African foods. A lot of them are. I can do a whole video off of that. A whole video. The salsa dancing, that's actually a black thing. That's not a Spanish thing. They'll make it seem like that's a Spanish thing. The rice milk thing, that's a black thing. That's not a Hispanic thing. That's black. A lot of their stuff is black stuff. They won't tell you that though. They'll give credit to the Spanish for it. But you guys make sure you guys subscribe to the channel too. We reached 2,000 subscribers. We're on our way to 3,000. We can honestly get 5,000 by the end of the year if we stay consistent. So I very much so appreciate every single last one of you guys for being here watching and subscribing to the channel, sharing the channel on your social media, because that helps the channel grow. Word of mouth is very important. Liking the videos too. Also leaving comments on the videos. Sometimes people don't get a chance to catch the live and they leave a comment, and I enjoy looking at your comments as well too. Shout out to everybody in here. It says Queen Nile, we FBAs ain't nuked them little slant-eyed bastards, and they all team racism, white supremacy, and always will be. Exactly. They have more in common. They have more admiration. They have more admiration for the white people who drop nukes on their homeland than they do for black people who helped them. We can talk about Vietnam and how black people actually helped them in Vietnam. in America and in Vietnam. You had Dr. King, who was protesting against the war in Vietnam. And they come over here and they are anti-black to us. They're shooting black women in the back, or black little girls in the back of the head like Latasha Harlings. They're shooting black men in the heart like Akai Gurley. You know, beating black women in the nail salons when they say they don't like the cheap ass nails that they put on their fingers. So the disrespect is real when it comes to that community. That's why you didn't see them and the war in Korea. Exactly. That's why you didn't see me talking about the black and Asian, the stop Asian hate. Man, damn that. Damn that. And then you want to blame that on black people? You got the audacity to blame that on black people? Man, to hell with y'all. That's my opinion. But I'm going to get off here, y'all. Y'all have a good one. I will catch you guys next week. See you guys on social media, which is why you guys should be following me. See you guys there. You guys have a good one. You guys have a good weekend, and please be safe.